Hey y'all, welcome to Fitting and Homemaking. My name is Sarah. If you are not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching multiple videos, and go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done that already. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from my normal cleaning videos. I'm not going to be focusing on, doing the dishes or the laundry or doing specific rooms or whatnot. I have been making a mental list, which in my world is a very inefficient way of keeping track of things. Just whenever I'm walking by somewhere, I notice, oh, that needs to be done. Oh, this needs to be done. That thing over there is dirty. This thing over here needs to be replaced. Whatever. And I'm like making a mental list of those things. And then it completely flies out of my brain. And so the next time I see that thing, I'm like, oh crap. I was going to do that thing and I forgot. I should do that thing. But I never actually have time in the moment to do that thing, even though it would take a very minimal amount of time. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about, I'm going to say 20 minutes. And I have actually written a list. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. But I have written this list down of things that have been bothering me, okay? So maybe I'll put a picture of it up here so you can see, but there are the cobwebs that are on around the front door, and there's the dirty glass on the storm door, and the dirty window glass on the living room window that is very low so my kids can get up to it. There is trash that has been sitting in my sunroom since shortly after Easter and my daughter's birthday, which were around the same time this year. The recycle bin on the back is overflowing. There are vines growing in my gardenia bush, and I don't want them to choke the gardenia bush out. There are prickly weeds near our strawberry and blueberry bushes, and we are in strawberry season at my house. Some nights we get 20 strawberries, other nights we get 2 to 3 strawberries that are ready, and none of those strawberries actually make it in the house. So my kids hover around that area now that they know that that's where amazingly tasting strawberries are coming from. So I want to get the prickly weeds out. There are rings around all of my bathroom sink drains, so that's 3. Stare at them every day when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm helping my kids brush their teeth, and I just haven't done anything about it because that takes effort. There are 2 vases of dead flowers on the mantle. Those have also been there since the weekend of my daughter's birthday, which was maybe 4 weeks ago now. There is an alphabet book that my son really likes that has been needed to be repaired, and every time we read it, I'm going to tell him Mommy is going to repair this, and absolutely has not happened because I haven't set it aside in a place where I see it every day. It just goes right back on the bookshelf. Their area around my trash bin in the bathroom it's a terribly small area, but it's just like horrifically dirty with stuff on the floor and the trash kind of overflowing, and every time I go to the bathroom or every time I take a shower, I see it and I think, oh, I really need to clean that. Excuse me. And then in my kids' bathroom, tucked away behind the trash bin in a way where they can't get to it, are ant traps that have just been full. And those need to be thrown out. So those are the things that I quickly came up on the list of things that is bothering me. So I think what we'll do from here on is I will set my timer for 20 minutes, and we're going to see how many of these I can get through. I think I might leave the 2 weeding ones to the end just because I know my son likes to watch me weed, and I can probably do that while I'm watching the kids outside, whereas the other ones are going to be a little bit more difficult to do while they're around. So we'll put those to the bottom, and I guess we can just get started. Hey Max, looking out the front door? All right, so these cobwebs here, those cobwebs there. Excuse me, buddy. Those cobwebs there. Yes, there are more cobwebs out on the porch, but I can pretty easily get those. Oh, look, my kids colored on the wall. That's amazing. And this wall is super dirty, but just noticed it, so it's not been bothering me for a while. So let me guys get you set up, and let me go ahead and we'll just do a 2-for-1. Can you see? I'm trying to get an angle where you can really see how dirty the glass is. Try to make the phone focus on that rather than looking through the glass. Amazing camera work, I know, folks. All right, let me get a tripod set up so I can clean this stuff, and I'll do a quick after shot. All right, so this is just vinegar, water, and a little bit of dish soap in here. For the cobwebs, I am going to use one of these because, I don't know, it grosses me out to use a reusable cloth for that for some reason. Watch out, buddy, I don't want to spray you in the face. Is it on? As I point it directly towards my face to see if it's on or not. Watch out, buddy, you don't want to get sprayed with vinegar. Yeah, was not on. Fantastic. Don't lick it. Don't lick it up. I don't want you to get sprayed with vinegar, buddy. So I'm just going to clean this bottom part of the door as well. That way it's going to look super awesome with the top of the door incredibly dirty, but the bottom of the door less dirty, because let's be honest, this is not clean. But the main thing is to get rid of that cobweb, which has been really bothering me. All right, next Max. Excuse me. Back up, back up. Woo, back up. Right there, perfect, buddy. Thank you. Love you, bud. That one's on the outside. This one is on the inside here. All right, let me pop out and get the outside ones real quick. Stay inside, please. Max is stealing the show here. All right, those are gone. So let's clean this window. And some of this is probably on the outside. I know my son also likes to play up here. That almost looks like it's crayon, but I'm sure it's chalk. All right, and I'm going to use another paper towel for the outside part. So there are two spots that I thought were on the outside but are on the inside. This one is a piece of chocolate. And who knows what this one is? Looks gooey. Is that it? Goodness, it's on the inside too. That did not feel great. I just hit my elbow on the door. All right, not perfect, but I think that gets most of the handprints and spider webs taken care of. So let me give you a close-up look here. All right, no more cobwebs. Less cobwebs, fewer cobwebs, fewer cobwebs, and there's some smudginess there, but overall, much better on the glass. Check and check. All right, let's go get the dirty window in the living room. All right, guys, we're talking about this window. Husband recently brought home this toy chest, and the kids really like to sit on it. And the top's pretty dirty, so maybe I'll wipe that down real quick too. But get to the side here. Can you see all of the handprints? There's a particularly good one. Another one there. I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but it's pretty dirty. So let's go ahead and clean it. All right, let's clean the window first, and then I'll probably hit this bench just with the leftover moisture on the cloth here. And in case you're wondering, the mullions on this window are in between the glass, so it makes it way easier to clean. You'll know what I mean if you have ever cleaned windows where the mullions are not inside the glass and you have to clean around them. I feel like they do that on French doors a lot, where it's got the wood kind of trim style mullions. Not the easiest word on earth to say. Wonder if it's French. Or, I mean, obviously it's English, but from French. Let's work smarter, not harder by moving that. All right, we need another spritz here. And obviously I'm not cleaning the outside of this, so this one's not gonna look perfect either. I can see the water spots from where it rains. Wow, words are hard today. I feel like they're hard every day though, aren't they? Okay. All right, that didn't get that terribly clean, but good enough for now. Right, here's the after view of the clean. Trying to get the same angle here for you. So like I said, not perfect, but much better. This is also much better. All right, dirty window in living room. Check. All right, next we're going to tackle these flowers on the mantle because they are right next to me, even though they're not next on the list. But this is shameful. Definitely dead, although in their defense, which I guess flowers don't really need defending, but regardless, these lasted for like 3 weeks or something, but now, yuck. Yuck, that's definitely mold. And here's the other one. Don't you love my phone case? Here's my other one. Even more. Yuck, 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 yuck. So let's put these in the trash bin and at least put some soapy water in them. All right, trash bin. Try to touch these not where it's got a bunch of mold on it. Thank you, flowers, for brightening our living room for longer than anticipated. All right. Ooh. Get in there. All right, and that's pretty full, but let's take these and fill them with some soapy water. Kitchen, yay. We're not doing that right now though. I will do that before the kids come home for supper. Pre-prepped supper because we have to, today, also a busy day, I have to pick the kids up from daycare, which is normally my husband's responsibility because he gets off work sooner than I do. But he has a work event tonight that my kids and I are going to. So he will be staying at work. And so he has a really long day. But I will be picking up the kids. As soon as I'm done with work, I'll probably leave work a little bit early. Leave work. I will probably stop. Sorry, that I always hit you guys. I will probably stop doing work earlier than usual to go pick them up. I just wanted to make sure it went up far enough to be wet on the spots where that mold was. But yeah, I'm gonna go pick them up and then we're gonna come back here for a quick supper, and then it's about a half-hour drive to where the event is. And we'll go to the event and then we'll come home and we will do jammies and bedtime. And that'll be it. That'll be the day. So those are good. I'll get those once I clean the kitchen. You guys don't need to see me cleaning my kitchen 5,000 times, but that is done. I left the garbage in the living room because I know there's a garbage thing on the list. So let's go check off the flowers from the list. So here's what the mantle looks like without the rotting flowers on it. So got our garden and our spring bird and our little fairy house and cards for my daughter's birthday and an early Mother's Day card for me. Done. All right, y'all, so we are in my sunroom. We have a few items here. That is the trash that I just brought out, so I'll need to take that out. Over there is the recycle bin that is overflowing that I need to take out. And in this bucket here, this is just kind of where I've been throwing some trash that needs to go out. I was not able to get that stuffy clean, and it smells really bad. So unfortunately, it is going in the trash too. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Yeah, it's like old Easter eggs and stuff that we just absolutely don't need. So come join me on the journey to the trash bin. Max is being our tour guide. All right, trash and recycle bin. And obscene amount of vines that we need to take care of. Absolutely not going to stay open unless I scooch it out. Perfect. Okay. And you go. Amazing camera work, I know, guys. All right. Closed, empty, and can go back on the porch. Hey, Max. Big stretch. Guys, our yard is such a mess right now. This puddle. We just need to drill a hole in the porch there or something to help it drain, because that composite is warped. All right, oh, darn, I should have left the bin open. Forgot about this one, which is, you know, kind of the whole point of having to make that list. So I'm like, oh, I need to do that thing. And then, I mean, how much time passed between me saying that I need to do that thing and doing it? Like, well, according to the clock on my phone video, like 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, and I had forgotten. This is why there are so many things on that list. Bye-bye, trash. All right, now I can scoot that back. I'm gonna go ahead and open this one. Ooh, it's a little heavier than anticipated. Diaper bags, or not bags, boxes. All right. One more trip, back and forth, to and fro. And I do not have a gimbal right now, so sorry if it's a rough ride for y'all. All right, this guy. Let's go. Max relaxing. All right, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Aura. All right. Bye-bye recycling. Guess I should move that back too. Hopefully the vines don't take them, but we will need to fix that soon. But not on my list today. So I am pretending that I did not see it. Oof, it is getting hot out here, folks. All right, y'all, so no more trash bag. Recycling has been emptied, and the bucket can now be used as a functional bucket again. Ah, shite. I'll have to blur out our last name there. Hate that for me. All right, trash in the sunroom and overflowing recycling. Hey again, y'all. In the main bath, so on the list is getting rid, and it's really hard to get these, there we go. Getting rid of these rings that are super disgusting around the sink drains, and I'll probably just clean the sinks, to be perfectly honest, because the whole thing needs to be cleaned. And here is the other one. I don't want to leave this stuff for too long because I don't want it to stain. But yeah, need to clean that. And then the other area in this bathroom, we'll have one more of those, but it's a different bathroom. And then this area, So the area from like the front of the toilet to around the trash bin, it's just a mess. It's a mess. So I need to empty that, and well, I need to sweep up the floor and then empty that so that I don't have to stare at it anymore. All right, I have my cleaning supplies. Why do I always forget to turn these darn things on? All right. All right, and this is the nozzle that links like a you-know-what. So, white towel, it's fine. All right, we're over here now, guys. I'm sure guys understand that procedure. I'm gonna let that sit, and we are gonna come over to this area. Can we see? Can we not see? Apologies if this is a horrible camera angle. All right. All right, bulk of the trash is up. I'm gonna tie that loosely just so it doesn't fall out. Sorry guys, this is such a tiny space to be in. All right, and I'm just gonna lazy sweep around here. Look at that, that was all just in that super tiny space. All right, obviously I need to mop that space, but it's not happening right now. Back, put this back. And tie this, and in it goes. All right, let's go back and scrub those sinks. Much improved. Come on over here again. All right, and sorry I'm not talking much in this part. My husband came home for a slight rest before continuing on his, like, I don't know. See, he left at 7:30. He's probably not going to get back till 9 or 10 tonight, so like 14, 15-hour day. want to make sure, since this is our main bathroom, I want to make sure he can get in here really quickly so he can get a good amount of rest before he has to go run this event. Get on there. There it goes. All right. So, no more rain. So shiny and beautiful. No more rain. Yay. And much improved. So, bathroom trash bin area. And we got sink 1 and 2 done. Okay, y'all, I've transferred my supplies. This is the last heinous ring around the sink drain. Yuck. And, ooh, should I hit this? Guys, this is just disgusting here. That needs to be cleaned. That needs to be cleaned. Look at all the spots on the mirror. We're not going to do that now. We're going to focus on this. We're going to focus on that. And then this also has these nasty ant traps that are full of ants. Sorry, I think I need to drink some more water. I'm awfully shaky today. All right. Let's get to it. All right, we'll spray with some bleach or drip bleach on it. Man, this spray bottle sucks donkey balls, doesn't it? All right, I'm just gonna set that in there and let that sit for a minute, and I'm gonna close this again since it's so leaky, and I just got bleach all over my hand doing that. Sorry, my timer went off a while ago, but I was on a roll, so I wanted to keep going. There they are. I'm going to very carefully carry these to the trash bin in the kitchen so that the kids don't mess with it and it doesn't get the gunk that's inside of there in the bathroom trash bin. Ew. Ew, that one definitely spilled and is stuck to the floor. All right, other than throwing away, we're gonna have to actually do some cleaning in this area. But you see that? Yuck. Although these do work quite well. Be right back. All right, I have my vinegar and my paper towels again. So we're gonna clean this spot up on the floor here. I'm actually gonna let that soak in for a little bit. Yuck. I like the drains in the sink in the main bathroom much better. I mean, that was our choice to get those when we had to remodel our bathroom because there was a leak in the wall. We had to completely replace the vanity and the flooring and the wall, that sort of thing. But they're just a little bit easier to clean than this. I don't even know if I can, it's not wanting to unscrew properly. So try to get around the edge as best I can. All right, sorry, that was me just trying to hold it up a little bit. Definitely just got bleach on the back of my hand from rubbing against the nozzle here. Ugh, or Not the back of my hand, the back of my arm. Anyway, let's see if we can get this guy cleaned up. Sorry, this angle really sucks, but I mean, it's like a hand breadth between girl measuring. What's that? Maybe like 8 inches between the toilet bowl and the cabinet there. All right, and this is also going to be thrown away in the main trash bin. Okay, we'll have overview when I get back. Okay, here's the overview. No more nasty ring around there. And the inside of the sink is clean at least. Reminder, we did not clean that or any of this. That's for another time. These are just things that have been bothering me for a while. And got the ant traps put in the trash bin where they won't be a nuisance. Okay, so we got that third bathroom drain and the ant traps. So I think all we're going to have left to do today is the alphabet book repair, and then we'll be done. Yay! All right, so this is the alphabet book that needs to be repaired. So isn't it cute? But it's the letter H that needs some help. It looks like it's been repaired in the past. And maybe I'll glue it and then put tape on this part so that it stays down. I have my book tape here if I need it. And my X-Acto knife, so let's open that up in case I need that. But you can see it looks like maybe this page, the J page, got something sticky on it, and then the H stuck to it and it just ripped when they tried to get it apart. This was, our neighbors have recently moved and they were trying to clean out their stuff and they thought we might be interested in this, and my son loves it, so we went ahead and got it. Let me get a glue stick. I believe I have that in my bag. There we go, glue stick, nothing fancy. Because you know what, we're not doing, preservation work here. We're just fixing it. I am going to make sure that I don't get extra glue on the other parts that might potentially stick to other pages. Which I think I may have just done, but I'm planning on putting tape on that part anyway. All right. Lift that up so it takes the tension off. Every time my son sees that this is messed up or another book that I've repaired, he goes, uh-oh, and like points to where it's messed up. It's like, yeah, I know, bud. All right. And I think I am going to put some tape here and here just to reinforce it. All right. If you've seen some of my other videos, I've talked about this, but this is book tape. We have enough damaged books that it made sense to buy book tape rather than just continuing to use either Scotch tape or packaging tape, because it's just way easier to use than those options. Shocking that something that is made for what I'm trying to do actually works better than things that are not made for what I'm trying to do. And I'm too lazy to go get scissors, so I'm just going to cut this with the X-Acto very poorly. Sorry, usually I do this filming at a different angle, but I usually just hold the tape with my legs and then cut it. And this is going to have my fingerprints all over it. In case anyone wants to frame me for a crime, you just got to look for this book and then take this tape off. Lots of fingerprints. at your disposal. All right, but it doesn't need to be pretty. I just want it not to rip anymore. Okay. And I do prefer to use an X-Acto knife rather than scissors for doing these projects, not because I prefer it to scissors for cutting the tape off the roll, but in case I need to trim the tape along an edge of a book or anything like that. All right. Looks like it works to me. So he will be happy that that is done. Ooh. Don't want you to see my other private notes in here when I open it to the wrong page. Goodness, that would be horrific. Alphabet book repair. Done. So I am going to leave these two to later because I have been working on this stuff for a while. It does just take longer when I'm having to move the camera around and all of that sort of thing. But I hope you enjoyed this. Apologies for the disembodied voice at the end, but I'm too lazy to move the camera again. And just a reminder, this wasn't a might as well as clean where I'm thinking, hey, I'm cleaning this one thing, like the sink in the kids' bathroom. I wasn't about to clean that faucet. That's not something that's been bothering me for a long time. I will clean that when I get around to cleaning their bathroom, which I will do probably before this weekend. I'll probably do that a little bit later this week. But my kids tend to drop their toothbrushes in the sink, and I just don't want that nasty ring in there when I know if I'm not in there, they're going to immediately pick that toothbrush up and then just shove it back in their mouth without rinsing it. So it was things like that that have been bothering me that we went through, and we got so much done. We got the cobwebs around the front door. We cleaned some glass that had fingerprints, nose prints, other things that I don't want to imagine on there. We got the trash that had been there since Easter out of the sunroom. We took care of the overflowing recycling. We got those dead flowers off the mantle, and I will wash those when I do the kitchen a little bit later today. We did the book. We got the bathroom trash bin area cleaned in our main bathroom, and we threw out those ant traps that were full of ants. So I think that is a win for today, and now I can finally check those things off my list, and when I walk through the house, I will not be constantly thinking, oh no, I forgot to do that. And that's a very edited version of what happens in my head when I see that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like and a subscribe. Go down in the comments and list some things that have been bothering you, and just take 5, 10, 20 minutes and check some of those things off your list. You're going to feel so much better after you do. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.